Greetings, people of YouTube. I'm Christian Lyster-Bradley, as always. And for today's video, I will be reviewing a franchise that I love to death. And anyone who doesn't love this movie, well, it's understandable that you wouldn't love this movie because, well, most people don't like it. Well, okay, I can't say that. I have to say that most people don't like horror.
Okay, let's go.
Not everyone enjoys a mask-wearing, axe-wielding maniac like I do. But this son of a gun is the best by far. He's my number one fave of every single horror movie cycle I've ever seen. And I was actually able to find his movies on Hulu. Now, here's my punishment, unfortunately. Well, it's a punishment towards myself because I actually have to say it. I did not like the first movie.
There's your proof. There's his coffee. Let's go.
Shocker. One of my favorite horror movie franchises,
That'd be the proof for him.
and I have a problem with the first movie. Well, the reason I have a problem with the first movie is because it doesn't introduce the character until the very tail end. I have to take my gum out for this because I need to rant. The fact of the matter is that while the movie is, I will admit, a classic, from its starting point all the way up to its finishers, and admittedly up to its sequels and its remakes. I'm sure you're probably wondering what movie I'm talking about. Well, for those of you who know me, you know that my most favorite movie franchise is Friday the 13th. A day everyone dreads because of its bad luck. Well, you know what? I enjoy the movies because they're classic. I enjoyed these movies as, I believe, a child, as far back as maybe 10 to 12 years old. And normally a kid would probably be scared of those. Well, not these days anymore.
Where are you going?
But for some reason, I like these movies because there was a certain style to it that was its own.
Oh shit.
It wasn't ever terrible, but they were actually great to me. For those of you who know, Jason Voorhees, as a young kid, went to Crystal Lake Camp, or as it said, Camp Crystal Lake. I don't really see what the difference is. Anyway, the fact of the matter is that Jason Voorhees went there as a young child. Unfortunately, he was a lot different than the other kids, and so he was picked on constantly. Maybe that's why I like this movie. Although, when I was picked on, I didn't go around hacking everyone to bits. Anyway, Jason Voorhees was then pushed into the water by the campers who constantly teased and poked fun at him. While all the rest of the counselors were off having their own special fun. Yeah, for anyone who sees this and knows me, I apologize for that. Anyway, after his mother, Mrs. Voorhees, decided to kill the counselors who were off goofing around while her son was drowning. Her son died, but some people think that he survived and just went on his merry way, but never found home. I guess, in a way. Jason wasn't introduced into the movie until the very tail end, a few minutes at, or I guess in movie time, some odd hours after his mother was decapitated by the last remaining counselor. It was then after that 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 the next movie, Friday the 13th, then it had Jason Voorhees alive and walking around wearing a bag on his head, and then switching from the burlap sack on his head to wearing a hockey mask, which I think is even more menacing. Now, I don't understand the reasoning behind it, which is one of the reasons why the first movie pisses me off. I understand the desire to... I understand the mother's want for revenge, but she could have easily sued the camp instead of letting her killer instincts take over and murdering all the counselors from up until her son's death, all the way until now, till her time of death. I should probably research more about this, but I won't because this is a movie review, not a random topic. And I will get back to those as soon as I can. I'm actually collabing with my buddy Austin Parkinson, who is going to be helping me with plenty of random topics. Seriously, we've got like over 40 videos to do, which will all be done during the time that we at a later date. Anyway, so after the second movie, when Jason supposedly died, they then brought him back in the third movie by some mysterious ways. Normally when Jason's brought back, it's either by some weird natural occurrence, by science, or by some weird magic bullshit. And in one case, he was brought back by telekinetic powers that some girl had, who accidentally killed her father with said powers. Okay, so basically she has the power of God. She can kill her own father, destroy a pearl necklace with a single thought, send both a recorder flying through the wall to some other part of a room, and then make a TV explode with her mind, levitate using her psychic powers, and bring back the dead. I never question these movies because I love them to death. They're amazing cinematic masterpieces, and they lead up to some pretty good climax. And anyone who disagrees can do that. They have their own opinion, and they can do so. But the fact of the matter is that Jason Voorhees seems so immortal that the universe itself decides to bring him back countless times and chooses to bring him into amazing situations. The fact of the matter is that while Jason isn't technically immortal, it seems as though that the universe or hell itself constantly wants to bring him back to do the business of the devil. While I don't normally condone such, it's a very amazing movie franchise. But it seems like it could go a lot further if the writers, directors, and such decide to keep going. Although apparently Mr. Wes Craven has died, which is very sad. Because I know he was responsible for Freddy Krueger, my second favorite horror movie, Psycho. But I believe he had some part in Jason Voorhees, which kind of sucks because if he really was the mind behind Jason Voorhees, then all is lost for the franchise. And Jason is still out there in the horror movie world alive, as we saw apparently in Freddy vs. Jason. I still think it should have been Jason vs. Freddy. Wait, did it? Nope, I have the movie myself, and apparently it says Freddy vs. Jason. If they're going in alphabetical order, I guess that makes sense. But if they're going by badass, I'd have to say Jason needs to be in front. I would bet. Actually, I'm not gonna bet because anyone would try to make me lose, and then it's not fun. But I realize that Freddy is the guy of dreams, of nightmares, and other spooky shit. But if anything, he's just a grossified, glorified boogeyman that can't do anything except slash you with claws. Oh, I'm so dangerous. I'm so dangerous. Go suck a lemon. Go suck a lemon, Krueger. You can't invade my dreams, jackass. And if you could, I'd still whip your butt. Apologies. Anyway, while I can't review the entire movie because I can't remember all of the movie, I believe I've made some pretty good points. And if not, please comment in the comment section below of what I could have done better. As always, good day, good night, and good fortune to you all. And I will see you next time.